Welcome to the No Diet blog. My name is Joe Nissim and I am the founder and the No Diet Man. And today I want to talk a little bit about why it's so hard to stay consistent on your diet. So I'm going to share a little story with you. Back in 2009, me and my best friend Mike lived together. And we decided that we were going to start eating clean. And so we made this list of foods that we were going to eat and foods that we weren't going to eat. And we had kind of a couple of staple foods. One of those foods being tilapia. And when you say the word tilapia right now, it makes me puke in my mouth a little bit because we ate so much tilapia, and I specifically ate so much tilapia in a span of 6 months that to this day, 10 years later, I still can't look at tilapia and not puke a little bit in my mouth. So, regardless of what was going on in my day or in my life or in my week, I ate the tilapia. It could have been 1 day old, it could have been 5 days old. I just shoved the tilapia down. For me, it was like this perfect food. It was really low calorie. It was under, for 4 ounces of tilapia, you're getting most of the calories from protein, vitamins and minerals. It had essential fatty acids, and I just would eat it and eat it. So a typical meal looked like, 100 grams of brown rice, 100 grams of broccoli smothered in hot sauce, and the tilapia covered in Old Bay seasoning. And in the 3 months that I was really kind of shoving it down, I lost 20 pounds pretty quick. And it was awesome. I kind of thought of tilapia as this magic food. As long as I ate tilapia, I was good. And then I hit this point. It was like a limit point where I just the smell of it would make me nauseous. And I could not down tilapia for a single second more. In fact, I couldn't eat clean for another single second. And then it officially happened. I started going into eat like a psycho mode. I was total psycho. I remember driving up to my office in the morning, stopping and getting one bagel wasn't enough. I would have to have two. I would go out to lunch and I would eat enormous amounts of food. I would go to the vending machine in the middle of the day and I would get M&Ms or chips or either something really sweet or salty. I would go out to dinner. I would order pizza. I would get tons of Chinese food. There was no moderation whatsoever. I full on went into this mode where I was completely out of control. I just ate and I ate and I ate and I ate. And what I've come to understand, and if you've ever gone through this, when you hit that minute of your diet where you can't eat the food anymore, where it's like, oh my God, I can't eat this anymore, you know what that's like. You know what it's like to feel totally out of control. You know you're not hungry. You just can't stop yourself from eating. And I always thought this was because, I had no willpower. I had no discipline. There was something wrong with me. I was addicted to food. I was a junkie. I couldn't control myself. And I would make myself feel worse and worse and worse about it, to the point where I felt like I needed to get back to the tilapia, or I needed to get back to eating clean, or I needed to get back to dieting in general. And what I've come to learn, when I stopped dieting, what I came to learn was this wasn't, my willpower wasn't broken. I wasn't a guy who could go to work every day, work 12 and 13-hour days, and do punishing level in a very high level finance job, and do all the things that I was doing at work and be so disciplined. But then when it came to food, it was a lack of discipline. It didn't make sense to me. My willpower wasn't broken, because the idea that I was like, I can't believe I'm not consistent. I'm consistently eating unhealthy was I had the wrong definition of consistency. The definition of consistency that's out there that all of you probably abide by is restriction. It's eating this group of food but avoiding this other group of food. And the more that you eat that group of food, the more consistent that you're being. But that's not the case. That's restriction. And for the past 70 years, there's one thing that has been studied over and over again and that we understand about restriction is it leads to binging. It is a biological certainty that if you restrict food and you don't get satisfaction from the food that you are eating, your brain will interpret it as hunger and make you eat and eat and eat and eat and feel out of control while eating. So isn't that ironic? That the trying to be consistent makes you inconsistent. How about that? So if you've done that, if you've eaten the same things over and over again to the point where it makes you sick, and then you end up breaking and falling off the wagon, it's because of your definition of consistency to begin with. So let's redefine what consistency is. Consistency is not about eating a group of healthy foods and avoiding unhealthy foods. Consistency is paying focused attention to what your body needs and giving it what your body needs, giving your body what it needs on a consistent basis. That's what consistency is. So what does that mean? That means knowing and being able to differentiate when you're hungry versus when just something smells good or you're bored or you're soothing your emotions with food. Being able to physically understand when you're hungry and versus when you're not hungry. That takes focused attention. 2, actually feeding yourself when you are hungry. And instead of waiting, 2 hours because that's when it's convenient. It's actually giving your body what it needs when it needs it. 3, eating the foods that you actually like, regardless of their quote-unquote nutritional composition. Yes, I know that sounds nuts. But what we've come to find is that what you think is healthy usually means that it's low in calories. So yes, that means sometimes eating cake, and that means having a donut when you want it, or having some M&Ms. Because that's exactly what you really want, and that's what's going to be satisfying. And eating those foods when you want them will usually end up saving you hundreds, if not thousands of calories in the next couple of days. And number 4, knowing when you're actually full and stopping and not having to clean your plate every single time, or if you're going out to lunch, having to, whatever the portion that's giving you, having to finish it. That's what consistency is. Consistency is in how you eat, not what you eat. Because how you're eating and the relationship that you have with food is the most important part of consistency. So yes, what that means is, yes, you can eat donuts and M&Ms and chips and not gain weight. In fact, you can lose weight if you are paying attention to the finer notes and the finer signals that your body is sending you. Because your body knows. We are born intuitively with knowing what to eat, when to eat, and what to stop eating. If as a child, when you were full, even if there was this much left in your bottle, you threw it out. You didn't eat it because you knew you were full, you were done. And it doesn't matter if it was this much or this much, you threw it out of your mouth. As a child, and if you're a parent, you'll probably understand this. If your toddler takes one bite into an apple, half a bite into a chicken nugget and leaves it on their plate, and you're sitting there going, this is nuts. We don't throw away food in this house. It's because toddlers are in tune with their intuitive signals. They understand when to start eating and when to stop eating. And you'll notice that as soon as they're done eating, they'll just go back to running around. It's like they only eat to the point where they are full or they are no longer hungry, and they go right back to what they were doing. Right? There's no inconsistency of them only eating green vegetables. So, can you do this? Can you actually eat foods that are considered traditionally unhealthy and still be consistent? Absolutely. Because consistency has nothing to do with the food that's on your plate. It's how you're eating those foods. Most men, in fact, 90% of every guy that I've ever worked with comes in overeating without even knowing it. They are overeating by somewhere between 20 to 50% at every single meal. So if you're feeling inconsistent and you want to go out to a restaurant, and you don't want to finish the bread basket before your entree comes out, or you want to be able to go and have some chips and not finish every single chip that's at a party, or keep refilling your plate and looking and feeling like a pig about yourself, or you want to go out on a date and not worry what's going to be on the menu and if you can have it or if it's going to break your diet. So at this point, you need to redefine consistency to start serving you instead of making you fall off the wagon again. And if you're interested in how some of my clients have stopped this battle, who are going out and enjoying themselves and not killing themselves, meal prepping, and worrying about every single morsel of food that's going into their belly, then you can simply watch the masterclass that is linked underneath this video, and you can learn the exact process that my clients are using to stop feeling consistently inconsistent. All right? If you have any questions, please just drop me an email. My email is joe@nodietman.com. It's Joe, Joe, @nodietman.com. That's one word for No Diet Man. Feel free to send me an email with any questions or any concerns, and feel free to take the masterclass that's linked underneath this video. All right, guys, thank you, and have a wonderful day.